Hello, Shmupiverse. How are ya? Today I have my second normal mode clear coming from a fairly novice shmup player. So I thought I would just give a few comments and play the run. I actually got the 1cc on July 19th, but the replay was corrupt and I could not upload it. As soon as I hit stage 5, my ship just wigged out and the upgrades were wrong and everything, just flying into the walls. It was very strange. So I played through live, and today got the clear. I have not had much time for games in general. Pretty much been maybe getting a couple hours a week, if that, so it took me a little while to get back to it. I think I got a 4 miss today. It's pretty sloppy, but that's okay. I'm not very experienced. Haven't shmupped a lot since the 90s, and never had a 1cc until this year. The first of which was Devil Blade Reboot, and this was my second, as far as normal mode clears. Some easy clears. I got the easy on Angel at Dusk, and played through Jamestown Plus with a friend, but that's a little different because it's very different format for Jamestown, where it's very much progression and level based. So yeah, Zangeki Warp. I found this game to be much more difficult to get the hang of versus Devil Blade Reboot. Probably took me at least twice as many hours to get the normal clear here. And I don't really know why that is. I think that it has to probably do with kind of how the ship moves, how the patterns exist. Much of what happens in this game is being shot at you versus dodging patterns and such, so there's much more reaction, and there's also a bit of memorization, I feel, with the bosses. They'll fly in off the screen, and if you don't know where they're coming from, they just hit you. But I got the swing of it. My first 1cc, I think, I only died on stage 6. This one I had, I think I said 4 deaths, 2 at the final boss, and then 1 on stage 6, and then 1 rando on stage 4. The stupid Hornet flew off screen. But yeah, I imagine most players would consider this game fairly easy, and as I grow more experienced, I'm sure I will as well, but everyone's got to start somewhere, right? Oh, I'm playing on Linux for the record, and playing on a Hitbox Mini. I originally played on stick, as I have a custom homemade stick that I used to play Tekken on. But with this game, I found this device to be far easier. Okay, super simple stage 1. And okay, upgrades. I'm sure there could be discussion about what's optimal, depending on how good you are. But I like getting the shield recovery early. I like the burst attack. I like shot power. I don't know. I like it all. You can't have it all, though, can you? Everything up to this point is pretty straightforward. The first 2 levels are quite easy comparatively. I mean, the first 3 I would say are quite easy. They only start getting a little weird. Stage 4, I struggled a lot in stage 5. And stage 6 has some quirks to it, but I wouldn't say it's much more difficult than stage 5. This bit here with the hammers is, you know, if your first time through it, you'll screw it up, but it's not too bad. Should have been on the right over there, but you know, good thing you can warp. It has been a bit. I think I've only done 2 or 3 runs in the last 2 weeks, so memory was a wee bit rusty. Okay, I took the hit there and I got scared. Normally I just sit between those lasers, and if you do it right and stay close, you can get him on the first cycle, but I was too scared of getting hit, so I was just dodging. It's another spot where if you don't know what's coming, you'll eat that. But this boss is pretty straightforward. You can kill him quite quickly if you point blank, but without the shield I got scared again, so I was kind of not being as aggressive as I sometimes am. Almost died right there. But no problem. I got my key. Okay, stage 3 I think is, for the most part, fairly simple. The one part of this stage I don't like is the section with the spinning platform. It's not particularly hard, I just do not enjoy it. Yeah, this bit here. And another, I don't know if it's a quirk in this game, I'm sure many games are like that, but with the hearts, when you die, you lose all your hearts for the stage. So, because it's a checkpoint style game, if you want to get a good score, you basically have to no-miss the whole game. That was foolish, but go shields, yes. Okay, coming up on stage 3 boss. This is another one that, you know, your first time, he'll just fly right into you if you're not careful. Alright, relatively easy. In fact, I would say broadly speaking, overall the bosses in this game are fairly easy. It's some of the clutter between the bosses that gets to you. Now the decoy, I've been taking that because of the hornets, but I don't really know if it's ideal. I don't particularly like it. I don't like the visual clutter it adds, but I do think it's kind of useful. A lot of this, I think that if you're more aggressive, you could ignore all those, but I found dodging them to be easier. If you want points, I imagine shooting them is far better. But I don't care about points. I'm inexperienced. Points be damned. I just want to get clear, you know. Okay, we're coming on the giant tick here. Early on, this guy gave me a lot of trouble. In easy mode, the short third leg in the middle doesn't exist, and I don't think that he shoots the orange bullets. So adjusting to that was a little difficult. I died quite a bit on this guy, mostly because I tried to fully clear that left eyeball, but I realized if I just work through it and kill it with a slash, I tend to get it much more consistently with no issues. And then this stretch gave me a lot of trouble early on as well, but I got to the point where I can get through it most of the time with no issues. In this particular run, that was not the case. So I was just trying to play it safe and just not get up in their face. But you'll see it's coming up one of the big hornets. I didn't realize he was still there. It's that one right there. So he pops off screen, and I'm not even thinking about it. And bam. Now, normally, most of the time I would have just reset, started the run over, but I knew that I'm fairly consistent towards the latter half of the run. And this game is pretty generous with lives. As long as you're collecting a lot of hearts, you get quite a few one-ups. So I said, all right, I'll just run it. You know, since I already got the clear, I may as well just get it for the record, you know, and be done with it. little hesitation there. Sometimes you're just not sure where to go. Ooh, that took a hit. So that concerned me a little bit. I would much rather have shield for this boss, but it is what it is. And I learned fairly early on that if you just point blank this guy, you can kill him in one cycle. If not, he'll fly up off the screen, and these longer sidearms will have to be dodged. But no problem there. A definite decimation of the score with one death, though. So stage 5, I struggled stage 5 a lot. In this game, you can't practice the stage till you get there, so which isn't too bad because you have to get there. But I kind of wanted to early on just practice stages individually. But you got to get a full run up to that stage, which isn't really a problem. It kind of forces you to progress. This stupid part right here, I struggled with a little bit, but I realized if you just teleport right away, you can get it pretty consistently without hitting the wall. But if you land in that red stuff, it'll move you. And then this section, the up and down movement, I used to try to actually dodge through on the right there until I realized I was being stupid and I could just stay in this channel. And that was kind of one of those how obvious is this moments where you feel stupid for not realizing it. But now it's, you know, simple. Most of this is fairly straightforward. If you don't keep up on taking out enemies in the muck up here, they can get to be a bit much, especially in later sections, but here it's not too bad. Especially if you have solid warp recovery upgrade. Okay, now we get this little carrier thing, whatever it is. I struggled a lot with that for a long time as well, and even now it gives me trouble. I was focusing very much on just making sure that the little guys with the red that create those little ones, making sure I get them quickly because those little spawns give me a lot of trouble. But not an issue there. Got it. Just pay attention, you know. So I think that section right there was the harder part of the level. There's quite a few bullets and such in the sections coming up, but it's not difficult really. Yeah, just the amount of enemies in that last section. It doesn't look, when you watch it back, it doesn't look difficult, but when you're in the moment, it feels much worse than it looks. And this guy's very simple, point blank enemies easy. And those, you want to kill those as quickly as possible. Because they have those fast aimed bullets. So just get them down fast so you don't have to worry about it. And so stage 5 boss, very straightforward. I don't think I've ever died to this boss. You just want to line up the green, try to get 2 at a time, and it's no problem. And then coming back through here, you don't have to worry about the arm because you're going to kill it, so you don't have to worry about it hitting you. And if you get it really good, I think I get all 3 on this one. Oh, boom. I do think I take a hit though on the shield. I don't. Maybe yeah, right there, right there. But he's almost dead. Just one more, and we're good to go. I don't know why I take that. I feel like it's kind of useless because you shouldn't be getting hit anyway, but it is what it is. On this stage, I think I only died on the boss. The Omega Crush is kind of pointless. And, you know, this stage is also the first stage where you don't want to constantly hold the shoot button. Up to this point in the game, you can just hold fire, but in this level, you want to not fire all the time. So yeah, that stuff will come back if you try to fly through it at the wrong time, which is sometimes why you don't want to just constantly shoot. I've been flying through corridor and the ground will regenerate and just kill you. So you do want to be mindful. This section's a bit bothersome to me. I used to try to just be more aggressive on killing those, but I decided just to be safe and just play defensively and dodge. Alright, we got a little worm mini boss here. I'm sure there's a much faster way to kill him, but I'd play it safe and hang out in the middle and let him run around. So here is where you really don't want to shoot. If you're experienced and know what you're doing, someone's zooming by there. It's probably a lot less of an issue, but for a newer player, you want to avoid breaking those glass tubes because the eyeball things inside will just keep spawning and coming after you. So use your warp to try to avoid slashing through them as much as possible. And this is where you're feeling great. You got 49 out of 49 hearts. And then you take a death and lose it all. I really got greedy here. So that was no problem, but then I went right back into the pinchers. Should have just hung back and I would have been fine. And then that was just me on tilt. So hang back this time. Oh, I did clip it, but at least I didn't die. I went full slash because the slash will damage the boss through his shield. Okay, this first section is pretty straightforward, not too hard, just dodging some bullets. The only tricky part is the spawns that come on top and bottom. You want to take care of as fast as possible, those guys right up there, because they will create a lot more havoc if you don't get rid of them very quickly. And watch the arms. The arms will get you the first time too if you're not careful. And this isn't too bad. There's plenty of room between the bullets there. And I should have first tried this. It should have been no problem, but took a hit. No big deal. And that was just stupid. Just stupid. Don't know what I was thinking. And then I die again here because he was turned the other way. You'll see. So yes, I thought I had more of a chance to do more damage there, and he turned around and just spiked me. But that was the first time I had seen him where I had a direct back view, back attack on him, so I thought I could squeeze in a few more shots, but I was wrong. And I think this should be the kill. Important to note that he has the Omega Crush as well, so when you break his shield, you need to make sure that you warp far enough away to not take it. And there we go, no problem. So yeah, Zangeki Warp. Got my 1cc. Documented. I would like to do a no-miss run, but I think I'm going to move on to something else for a little while. And then come back and maybe do that, and at some point, maybe try the harder difficulties. As I understand it, there is a, the true last boss that you only get through the harder difficulties. But I liked the game a lot. I probably played a dozen different games before I settled on this one to try to get through. And I'm not really sure what to do next, but I'll probably do the same thing. Play around a bit and see what kind of catches my eye or attention, But yeah, as let's finish. You can see my first clear, I only died on stage 6, which would have been nice, but is what it is.